American Textbook Reading. I'm Brian Sturt. Today, we're going to talk about fossils. But more intentionally of today, we're going to talk about what are fossils. Fossils can be shells, teeth, skull of a T-Rex, and this is actually the skull of level 40 T-Rex of Jurassic World, and this is the blue raptor in the same game. Then we also have bones as fossils. So, as usually, or as everything you can, or eventually today, we'll just start with the vocabulary. This is the key vocabulary. Let me change it. We have the key vocabulary, how fossils form, what can be fossils, the incomprehensible questions, the reading section, and the reading skill sequence. It's just a sequence, not the effect, not the main idea and details, or not the effect of it. It is not cause and effect or main idea and details, but it is actually the sequence. After the sequence, we'll do more questions and then wrap it up. Now, the first word I'm gonna tell to you is the word die out. What is die out? You may be confused with this, but die out means to be no longer living, and also to have just be less, and then 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 less, until it will stop existing. It will be less and less until it is stop existing. So, in the next one, it will be the word bury or bury, to sing. Bury means to put something underground. Like, if you were a dog, you would go outside holding a chicken bone. Then after that, you'll drop the chicken bone, dig a hole, and then bury the bone in it. Then you forget where you buried it, and finally you remembered. Then you went to the spot, dig it out, and then you saw a massive fossil of the bone. And that bone is actually a chicken bone. So that's how fossils emerge. Like in the reading section, they say that first the living thing dies, it is buried under the sand and mud. Next, its soft parts rot away, and its hard parts remain or emerge. Then after that, the sand and mud become rock. It is very hard, like a dragon's skin. Its scales are very hard. Then, as the rocks become very hard, the print of the living thing is left behind is the fossil. See, these are the same fish. This is the fish that just washed on the land. Then the fish's outer scales disappear and its inner scales emerge or remain. And then finally, it will still have its inner scales, but they will turn into rock and will be a print of it. If you have enough energy to cut open the rock, you will see the bones of the fish. And you can also see the backbone, why it's called fish. But, intentionally, we'll only talk about fossils. This is only the detail of the fossil. This is the detail. In here, we have some words. We have what can be fossils. Shells can be fossils, like a turtle. When it dies, its shell is left, and its bones are also in its shell. And even footprints can be fossils. Some people see footprints of people that were living long time ago. If they follow the footprints, maybe they will see a camp with American natives. No, I'm just joking. But as they follow the footprints, they will just go to a very old camp. They'll steal the food and then go back to their land. And we also have bones as fossils. As I told you, first a living thing dies, it is buried under the sand and mud. Next, its soft parts rot away and its hard parts remain. Then the sand and mud become rock. The print of the living thing is left behind as a fossil. As you see the fossils are only bones. So the bones are fossils. Then, what about teeth? Teeth can also be fossils. From Jurassic World or any other shark, you can see that the shark has sharp teeth. Maybe you can find one. This is a shark's teeth. But you can also find a saber-toothed tiger's tooth. They have two long teeth that stick down like this. And the other teeth, they're like this. You can also find the T-Rex's tooth, or the blue raptor, or the velociraptor's tooth. But the most important tooth and most popular tooth is the Plesiosaurus's tooth. Its teeth is just like ours, but from different it is. Just like it isn't small like ours, but it's big. And now let's move to the questions. The first set. Choose the words to complete the sentences. The first. Beep of an animal can be beep in millions of years. So the first beep is, what is it? The first beep is prints, shadows, or hair. As you look at it, shadows can't be it. So how can a shadow appear itself? I have my shadow when I am alive, but the shadow can't appear itself. So it can't be. So just like it cannot be the word shadows, so you X it away. What about hair? Well, a hair can't be right because some of them are herbivores, but they live in the sea. So some of them are herbivores on land, but they do not have hair. So you X away hair too. Then after that, you will know that the word prints of an animal can be beep of years. What is it? Bones, sands, or fossils? The first one, bones. The prints of the animals can be bones. The print is already the bone. Not the bone is already the print. So you click X. What about sands? Sands is not the correct answer because how can prints turn into sands? Only prints turn into sands when people destroy them. The prints only become sands when people destroy them. And the word fossils is the most correct one. And the next one, food garbage. Beef and water can make fish be food garbage rotting, food garbage swimming, or food garbage eating. As you know, food garbage rotting. The water can make fish be get out, dry out, or die out. It is die out. Let's look at B and C for practice. Dry out. The food can make the fish dry out, so you click X there. Also, to get out, no. Just like when the fish is inside the bowl, when the fish is inside the fish recipe, and then it gets out. So it isn't true because the recipe cannot be in the water. It's in the restaurant. But if you drop your ice cream in there, eventually if you're a troll, you drop your ice cream in there, then the fish inside there will get out. But that doesn't happen. Then soldiers have begun to be the people who died in the war. First is buying, the people buying, corrowing, or burying. As you know, it is burying. Soldiers have begun to be the feet of the people who died in the war. It is not the property because the property is actually the house. How can you bury your house? That means that you live under the ground. Then you can also, what about remains? Remains of the people who died in the war? Yes. Let's look at C for practice. Soldiers have begun burying the families of the people who died in the war. Now, choose the thing that cannot be a fossil. What cannot be a fossil? The T-Rex skull, a bear's skin, or a dried out fossil of a deer. As you know, it is the bear's skin. Now, here we have to put something on the ground is bury, to become less, and finally stop existing is die out. The hard print of an animal or plant found in a rock is fossil. The mark left on the surface made by an object pressed onto it is print. To become softer and slowly break down is rot. The parts of something as left after the rest has disappeared is remains. Then click on true or false. Fossils are animals. Fossils are animal parts or prints that are now rocks. True. Teeth cannot become fossils. False. The soft parts of an animal rot away when it dies. True. Now, after doing all the questions, all the hard work with our details and our vocabulary is done, now let's take a short break and come back and review the speaking section. Don't go away. section. I'll put the speaking section right here. Can you see the speaking section? Here are the speaking sections. Fossils are remains of animals or plants that died. All dinosaurs have died out, but we can still learn more about them with their bones. So, as you can see, this is a chameleon, and here's its fossil. We can still, as all the chameleons died out, we can still learn more about them with their bones. I'm just joking. With my model robot, it just went out. So here are the bones. But we also need to know that sometimes a fossil is made when an animal dies in the mud or sand. The animal is buried in the mud or sand. For 1 year or 1 month, the animal will become, the animal will become just like its soft parts will rot away. Like when I'm dead and I'm buried under the mud or sand, then my soft parts, like my skin, rot away, and my meat inside that has been dried will remain. Then, after that, my body will get very hard when the sun heats my body up, and then my body will be a fossil. Then, if someone digs me up, they will find a fossil of my body. So that was an interesting lesson. But also, another way to make a fossil is to make a print. You print it in, wait for a few years, and then it will be a fossil. Very interesting lesson coming ahead. A very, very, very interesting lesson coming ahead of us. And now, let's do some of the questions. A fossil can be made when an animal pees in mud or sand, digs, lives, or dies. The peed parts of an animal can remain after they die. The hard, the rotten, or the soft. The rotten parts, the hard parts of the animal can remain after they die. Plants sometimes make prints in the mud. Plants sometimes make prints in the mud, and the prints turn into bones. The prints dry out and turn into rock. The prints will not, and the prints will not before turning into fossils. As you know, the prints can dry out and turn into rock. The last question. Fossils are remains of plants and animals that lived a very short time ago, lived very long time ago, did not live on Earth. As you know, a very, very, very long time ago. Now that we finished our lesson, I hope you like this lesson. If you enjoyed it, make sure that you like and subscribe this video at American Textbook Reading, Science and Social Studies from 1 to 4, which I'm putting right here. And you also need to write my name, BRAIN STUART, or just Brian or Ryan Stewart for your favorite lesson. And you can see all my amazing videos by me and Real Ryan Stewart. And now, goodbye.